Mr. Hofer, I only have one comment to ask you about. And this is you are going to talk about the migrant crisis and the new situation in Europe. But my question would be, how long do you think Austria will need to have its new border controls and the fence on the border between Slovenia, and if you think that these measures actually work?
Also ich hoffe, dass wir diese Grenze eigentlich gar nicht brauchen, denn wenn es uns gelingt, die Schengen-Außengrenze wirksam zu kontrollieren, damit nur jene Menschen kommen, die wirklich das Recht auf Asyl haben, dann ist diese Grenze nicht notwendig. Also ich würde mich freuen, wenn sie in wenigen Monaten nicht mehr da wäre, denn wir sind zwei Länder, die eng kooperieren und wir wollen keine Grenzen zwischen diesen Ländern, aber wir wollen die Schengen-Grenze sichern.
But the fence is here, the border controls are here. How long do you think it's necessary to stay here, and would you say it works?
Das wird davon abhängen, wie es international die weitere Entwicklung sein wird, wann es Frieden in Syrien gibt und wie viele Menschen versuchen, in diesen Strom von Flüchtlingen als Wirtschaftsflüchtlinge mitzukommen. Aber mein großer Wunsch wäre eben, dass man diese Grenze in einem Jahr nicht mehr braucht, weil der beste Weg ist immer, die Schengen-Grenze zu sichern und keine Grenzen in Europa zu haben. Es funktioniert derzeit, die Balkanroute ist weitestgehend geschlossen. Deutschland war zuerst dagegen, ist jetzt sehr dankbar. Wir haben hier sehr pragmatisch zusammengearbeitet.
And just one last question, would you say, or do you believe that the European and Turkey agreement will work, or is it coming to an end?
Nein, das wird nicht funktionieren, denn was wird die Türkei machen? Man wird 3 Millionen Syrer aufnehmen, sie finanziell so gut wie nicht unterstützen, außer dass man die Staatsbürgerschaft weitergibt, und mit dieser Staatsbürgerschaft kann man dann weiterziehen nach Europa über die Visa-Erleichterung. Das heißt, wir haben das Problem so oder so, wir müssen es selbst lösen. Ich bin kein Gegner der Türkei, ich möchte eine gute Partnerschaft mit der Türkei, aber ich glaube nicht, dass dieser Deal funktioniert. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, shall we start? Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for coming to everybody. Dobrodošli in hvala vsem, da ste prišli. I'm very much pleased to see that the hall is full. And as you know, today the Slovenian Pan-European movement, together with you, and together with the Order of St. George, the European Order of the Habsburg House, is very glad to host here in Ljubljana, at the end of trip to Zagreb and Ljubljana, the engineer Norbert Hofer, that is also the third president of the Austrian Parliament. On my left, there is the procurator of the Order of St. George, Dr. Van Handel. I'm very much sorry, of course, it's clear. Sorry. And Damir Čurčec, the president of the Council of the group, that is the co-organizer also of tonight's roundtable press conference for Norbert Hofer. Well, I will be very much short. Once again, on behalf of the Slovenian Pan-European movement, thank you very much for coming. I would like to make it very much interactive, given that we have this unique chance to have here a man that is also the candidate for the presidency of our neighbor, the Austrian Republic, and a person that has, of course, clear opinions and points of view about international politics that can change a little bit our approach in Europe, inside Europe, toward the Balkan region, toward the migration crisis, toward, of course, the future of the European Union house. So I will start immediately with asking him if you can comment, Engineer Hofer, why you are traveling Zagreb and Ljubljana today.
First of all, thanks for the invitation, Mr. President, members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important for us in Austria to have a good neighborhood, of course. I was here just 2 weeks ago with my wife for vacation. It was marvelous. We had a lot of sunshine. It was hot. As you can see in my face, I'm very brown now. Yes, there are a lot of things to do together because what was the idea of the founders of the European Union? It was the idea to build a strong economic union. And now we can see the union isn't too strong in an economic way. So we have to work on the union to make it stronger again, and we have to rebuild the European Union because we saw that in the last months, in the last years, all the big issues, all the big skills we should have, they didn't work. We had the economic crisis, financial crisis, we had the migration crisis, and it's still on. We had in Austria 100,000 people coming to Austria, staying there, and we know that some of them are real refugees, which have to be protected in Austria, of course, and we give them this protection. But some of them, about 70%, just want to use our social system, and we are not able to manage it. And this is a problem we have all over Europe. And we have been able last year to close the Balkan route with our neighbors. Germany wasn't too happy. They said, oh no, it's okay, we shouldn't do that. But now they are happy that we did it. So I think we should work together. Austria, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, and we should try to build a system like Benelux, to have one strong voice within the European Union. And that's why I'm here. I want to build on this strong partnership. I don't know if I will be the president of Austria after the 2nd of October, but I think so. We have some polls. I have now 52%, we'll see. But if I will be president of Austria, I will travel to Slovakia, to Croatia, Slovenia, Hungary, all these countries to build such a strong union within the European Union. Because we are important in this union. We have the same culture, we have the same way of thinking. Now in Austria we have 600,000 people which are Muslims. It's a different way of thinking. I always said that Islam is not a part of our history. Yes, it is, a little bit, but it's not a part of the history of Europe. The history of Europe was built on values which are Christian values. Values from Jewish people, of course, too. But we have no Islamic values. But we have the Sharia in some parts of the European Union. In France, for instance. And we have to do something. If someone is coming to Austria, if someone is coming to the European Union, he's welcome, of course, if he rules our laws. And if he wants to build his own life with his own hands. But in Austria, if someone is coming in, is able to use the social system from the first day on. And this is the wrong way. We have high taxes and a very strong social system. So who is coming? The people are coming to use the social system. So we have to lower taxes, and we have to build a social system that says, if you are working in Austria for 3 years, you can use it, but you can't use it from the first day on. So who will come then? The people who want to work in Austria. So a lot to do for us. I'm looking forward to the questions and the discussion. I don't want to be too long because
don't worry, we will open the stage immediately.
Politicians, they are speaking all the time, you know, and speaking.
However, thank you very much. I would like just to express a little bit that the Slovenian pan-European movement was really the first one to comment the crisis more than 1 year and a half ago, and the first one to comment what to do and what was wrong in that moment. we were the first one to suggest on-the-spot system to save the problem in Syria, to save the problem of the migration at the real origin point. We were the first one to ask the European Union for the most normal decision to take a common asile policy. And we do not have a common asile policy today. So this is the reason why we have the problem. However, we are not alone, of course, in making this kind of discussion. Also, IGLU and Andrej Čuš intervened many times in the Slovenian public field. And this is the reason because I give now the word to Damir to comment what is going on. And also, if may I ask you, how will the new Turkey now influence our problems in the future?
Thank you very much. Also on my behalf, I'm very happy to have an opportunity to be a co-organizer of such an event. I have to say that we are lacking this type of events in Slovenia even. And I would have a very short introduction. I would like to touch upon a few topics. One of them, of course, is Turkey, but I would like maybe in the second part maybe of my presentation to say a few words about Turkey. First, I would like to say that I, as a person who is in the field of security 20-25 years, active in different positions, I never anticipated. I would never say in 2014 or early 15 that we are going to erect a fence between Slovenia and Croatia. Nevertheless, that Austria will kind of start a preparation or do actually some work also in this way. Why? Because in Slovenia the perception was in 2004 and later on that we achieved after 91, when we gained our independence, we achieved all of our strategic goals. So for us, 2004 was the end of the history, basically, so to speak. So we become NATO member, EU member, everything was just okay. And I remember as a student, when I traveled to Hungary, there was a fence between former country of ours and Hungary. Later on, we built a new highway, and now when you travel to Budapest, it's just the highway. You don't even see where the border is, and it's still like that. Hopefully, this will remain for the future. So this is basically what happened, how strategically, dramatically things changed last year. Europe was unprepared. We were just talking. And I'm strongly convinced into that. We have a problem identifying the problem, what the problem is. We titled this panel, Refugees. I fought all the time with our media from the start on. We don't have a problem with refugees. We have a problem with migration. It's not a refugee crisis, it's a migration crisis. You mentioned yourself. Of course, legally there is a different interpretation what really a refugee is, and it's very clear with the 51 Convention of the United Nations what asylum seeker is and who is. And I say, if someone is traveling through 5 countries, through the Balkan route, to reach Austria, Germany, he's not a refugee. He was a refugee in Turkey. But later on, he's just a migrant. Whether economic, whatever type of migrant, we can, of course, discuss that. But this is really the problem. We don't want to say in Europe, in European Union, what the problem is, where the problem lies. That we are basically forced. We gain influx of 1 million migrants by one country with clear political goal. And that country, of course, is Turkey. And I'm talking very simply about it. And with that, I will conclude this my kind of second remark. And with the third one, I would like to, I wouldn't joke about it, but I heard just today now from future Austrian president the remark that he is proposing a new Count K in German, I think is the wording. So Kaiserliche and Königliche, I think is the word, realm, a new empire or something like that. So, and I would like to, of course, hear from his side a few words more about that proposal, and what is the correlation of this proposal with the Visegrad idea or group that is already existing, and this is basically, so to speak, Visegrad Plus, or as I said, Count K, but then we have to stretch towards Bosnia probably also. Maybe this is for the start.
Well, I will save in the corner the President of the Parliament for a second. The idea of launching closer collaboration among Hungary, Slovakia, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, let's say it's a little bit the flag of the Pan-European Union of Slovenia. This is an idea that we launched in our conferences, in our books already in 2013, and it's something that we want to implement next year. Next year, the Slovenian Pan-European movement would like to organize an international conference of presidents of the parliament coming from the old Kalunka region in order to start a new cooperation, a sort of Benelux in this region. This is our goal, this is our target, we are committed to do that. We hope that the Slovenian government and the Slovenian parliament will follow us and support us in this, because we believe that we cannot live in a constant war against our neighbors, Croatians, Austrians, Italians, Hungarians. We have common roots, we have common history, we have probably a common vision also to share in the future. I give you the stage to explain your idea deeply, but let's say Pan-Europa will launch this idea. I hope that everybody will on the train. We will invite the President of the Parliament of Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, Slovakia, here to join us, in Austria, to join us in Ljubljana in 2017 and to launch the sort of Mitteleuropa or Central Europe Benelux. And this is the reason because I pass now the stage to the Procurator of the St. George Order, because I think that we share the same vision. And this is the reason because you are here today.
The reason is that Norbert is here today. And I thank you very much that you followed our idea of the order to make in Laibach this conference. It was an order in Vienna who thought it is necessary to make a conference in the smallest country of the region because we had a Congress of Ljubljana in 1821. Which was after the Vienna Congress and very important. And I asked Laris if his Pan-European Union would help us, and now he made the whole thing to his subject, what he always does. And I'm very glad for this, thank you very much. But of course the order is, will bring the ideas, will bring the people together with him. And it is very necessary, as you pointed out, that both organizations work together, not exactly in the same field, but in very near fields. The origin of the order was that we thought that 100 years after this extremely Europe-destroying First World War, that all these countries had a history which was worse and worse and worse. We had the communistic history, you have the fascistic history, we have the Nazi history, we have the Soviet history, and all these countries have so many roots and such a slightly different but altogether tradition in religion, in habits, in cultures. Each of us in Austria have a grandmother who is Croatian, a grandmother who comes from Czechoslovakia, a grandmother coming from Italy or wherever. And so we said, this Order of St. George was established in 1308, should be the basis and the platform to create a new Middle Europe. A new Middle Europe which is not the old Austria-Hungary, but it tries to find the good things, the many good things of this empire out, and leave these things which are not for our time. You had a hard history, but you are now independent Slovenia. Croatia has a hard history. It's now independent Croatia, Hungary and so on. But now it's time to find the game together in quite a lot of things, in question of infrastructure, of education, of military, all these things which the European Communion did not really do. We have a catastrophic foreign policy, watching what happens in Ukraine and Russia. We make a very simple mistake to put Russia away. What does Russia do now? It goes with Turkey, it goes with Iran, it goes with China. This was the grand policy of the European Union. We we made big falls in financing everything against the Maastricht thing. So, of course, we need Europe, but we need another Europe. Of course, we need European Union, but we need a union which is a kind of fatherland of the fatherlands, which make only important things, not going in every detail, to say, I can't drink of this glass, don't have this lights, don't have, you know what I mean. This is ridiculous, and the big things we forget. And we want a Christian Europe. The European Union is not Christian anymore. There are, you know, quite a lot of interest to say we should be a mixed continent. No, religion is not important. Yes, Islam, mix it up with Asia, with Islam, with everything. But this is nothing. There are quite a lot of institutions like Bilderberger, like Foreign Council, like Kronberggespräche, which all have the same mind. I don't want to be too long. And if you have leaders like Madame Merkel or like Mr. Hollande, it's no wonder that the British go away. It's no wonder. If I would be Britain, I understand it. The order has a commander-in, very high rank in England, with quite a lot of members of the parliament, and they had no plan B. Now we both have the problem. And if I see what Norbert Hofer said, that we have immigrants, and if I hear that Madame Merkel says, oh, welcome all, still now. Ladies and gentlemen, where are we? Where are we? Do you want that your children have Sharia? Do you want that nobody can go out? No lady can go out? And all these things? So, coming back to the order, and coming back to you, Larissa, I like your emphasis, your organizing things. Thank you very much, it's brilliant.
Thank you for coming.
And why do we support in such a strong way Norbert Hofer? Our order is not a political order. It is a political order, but it doesn't belong to one party. We are over the parties. His party is another party than my party. But we are supporting gentlemen of the order who are going in politics. Why? To support them as well. Why? Because they have the principles of the order. Because they swore to have the principles of the order. And so we don't mind if somebody is right-wing, left-wing, middle. We support him as a member of the order. Christian, for liberal economy, for defense, for European history, and of course belonging to our traditions, which are incorporated by the House of Habsburg. This is what we do. And so we support this man. I know him personally very good, because I'm an old man, you know, and I saw very many political people in my life. And I can tell you, I never saw such an honest gentleman as him. And if I see our other candidate, who was communist, then he was socialist, then he said very bad things about religion, then he was Green Party, now we want to have some artists, and now we make photographs with conservatives and all. This can't be the president for Austria. This can't be the president for Austria. We got the chance from the High Court to make the elections again, and we hopefully will make it. We hopefully. But if we won't make it, we have a plan B, because Norbert is president of parliament, and we will build up another politics from this part of high politics. This is what the order wants. And I thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. I thank you very much to advertise for the Congress, which was in the beginning our Congress, is now this Congress. This is why we work so good together. Thank you all for coming here. We had a hard day, we had three dates in Croatia and 3 dates now here. Is now the high point of our travel. And
Nothing to eat all the day, you know?
Nothing to eat.
Nothing.
So thank you very much, and I hope we all meet in Laibach, Ljubljana on the
February.
I know the date, my friend.
I know, it's not up to
Probably
me.
on the 9th of February.
It's not up to me. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Procurator. I will give you back the word to the President, because, however, you're here in an unofficial way today, traveling a sort of foreign policy you are making for you and for Austrian Republic. For sure, you are not running elections today in Slovenia and Croatia.
No.
And this is the reason, because I would like to ask you, of course, first is what Damir already asked, but the second is, what is your plan for the future for us? If you should be the president, what is the plan for Slovenia and Croatia? Why you are here?
First of all, this cooperation within the Union isn't a cooperation against the Union. We have the big players in the Union, Germany of course, France of course, Italy, hopefully not Turkey in future. And we have to build a new force within the European Union to be on the same level. And we have to work together. And the plan for if I become president for Slovenia and Croatia, there was a really bad war. When I was a young soldier, I was on the border in Austria, and there were a lot of refugees, and it was strange for us, because we've been sure that there will not be no war in Europe. And then we had the war. And I think that there are a lot of people in your countries, they have sisters, brothers, parents, grandparents, and everybody has one which was hurt in this war, I'm sure. And if we have a look on Austria, we had the Second World War, which is a long time ago, but we are still suffering on that, even the First World War. And you had just a couple of years. So what I would like to do is to have a strong relationship, a strong partnership, and to do the best I can to bring these countries together within a strong union, within a strong European Union. This is my goal.
Thank you. Damir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, are you a federalist?
Yes.
Are you supporting the idea of you becoming a federal state?
I'm a federalist. No.
In Germany,
in Austria. No.
But in Europe, yes.
I prefer subsidiarity. I think the Union should make solutions for the big questions of our time. And we are not the United States of America. We have a complete different history, and our strongness is that we are different. And if you have a company and you have employees which are really different, they are able to work together, the company will be stronger than another company that has employees which are somehow the same. We are different, and every country has its own strongness. And so if these countries are working together, not within the United States of Europe, but within a new European Union, which is dealing with the big questions of our time, we can be successful.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, totally the federalization concept, which is also strongly presented in Slovenia. I mean, European Union federalization process. It's in a wrong way, and it's just the wish of giving Brussels even more authority, even though we know that they really don't know how to solve this migrant crisis. And I think since we have this topic today, what is the kind of assessment in Austria what is going to happen this year, how you're going to react towards the Slovenia if this second wave will come. And you mentioned yourself, and I was asked this question regarding the Turkey, and Laris is very well aware of my position, and I think also the Slovenian public, that I was asking them to prosecute me like they did the guy in media, comedian in Germany, that Angela Merkel allowed prosecution of him. I mean, this is really it's really a Greek tragedy that democratic prime minister is allowing the persecution of the people who are having fun of the foreign country politician, which is, from my perspective, a dictator. And I like to quote the Erdogan quotes, which was given in public by the Jordanian king, when he said that for him, democracy is a bus ride. I step out when I reach my station. And so I think we are seeing now this year this stepping out process. And of course there is my strong belief that there is no place for this kind of Turkey in Europe, this type of values in Europe. And you are very well aware, and I agree with that idea. I think that in West, they really don't understand 1683, the siege of Vienna, and what happened before that and after that. I think they all forgot that idea of Islam is just to conquest. That's it. It's very simplistic. And when I hear the High Commissioner Mogherini talking about how political Islam is part of European future, I get scared.
Yes.
What does it mean? And at the same time, Erdogan is saying there is no political Islam. It's just Islam. So who is having a problem of understanding what? And I would like to narrow it down. So how do you see this now, what is going to happen? And I strongly believe that, of course, if you want to play hardball with Turkey, European Union easily can start economic sanctions, and Turkey will collapse easily. It's not Russia, I mean Turkey. It's I wrote about it. Erdogan is riding on the muscles, in steroids within his muscles. So he's just pumping, and we can function that very easily, I think, if we want to, within the European Union. And I don't see really if in the Brussels they want to do it. But so we have to face ourselves. We are seeing now, Slovenia is experiencing illegal migration ongoing each day. You know also because those migrants predominantly go to Italy or Austria, and the numbers are increasing drop by drop. I mean, and nobody is really talking about it. So we are already being in this kind of first wave, like in front of the tsunami. So what we are going to do and how we are going to face ourselves with that. And I don't think, and this is really what I want to hear from you, I think today, everybody probably, I don't think that the fence between Slovenia and Austria would solve the problem. Hopefully I didn't touch too many topics.
No, you're right. We have to protect our Schengen border. That's the first thing. And the second thing is we have to close our social system for immigrants. So they won't come to Europe. This is the easiest thing we can do. They will just come here if they would like to work in Europe. Okay, then they are welcome. And Turkey, they will invite, I'm talking about the deal, they will invite refugees to Turkey. They will have nothing. There will be no support, of course. They will have the citizen, of course. And then they will move with the new deal to Europe. That's all we will see in the future. And you're right, we can't, the deal is wrong. The deal is wrong, and Erdogan is a really dangerous person. It's dangerous for Europe, and for Turkey too, of course.
Well, are we going to have a fence between Slovenia and Austria?
First thing I would like to say, I don't want a border between Austria and Slovenia, because we should have borders on the outside of the European Union. It's the most important thing. And we have to work together very, very closely. It's one union, strong union within the European Union. But we will have a difficult time.
Thank you very much. Just a few words before opening the questions. As President of Pan-Europa Slovenia, I am very much concerned, and as also a professor of international relations, about the situation in Turkey, because we must be aware that if we lose Turkey, we lose, at least we destabilize very much the NATO system. If we destabilize NATO system, if we lose Turkey, it means the old scheme of the North Atlantic security system is collapsing. Also because, of course, there will be the issue with Russia. Russia will have the formal and free access to the warm seas, and so on and so on. So it is a domino effect that we must be aware of. If it is going to happen, it will happen quite soon. And if it's going to happen, we must be prepared and coordinated. This is our statement as a Pan-Europa Slovenia, and this is the reason because we are very much happy today to have all these guests today here around this table, because we have to discuss, we have to prepare our future together. If you remain President of the Parliament, or if you are the President of Austria, we have to work together. Now, I will open the stage. Free questions, press and public, please feel free. Anytime, please.
Yes. Hello to everybody. I would like to welcome you in Slovenia. It's a great pleasure. I am Andrej Čuš, independent MP. I agree with Damir that we lack of that events in Slovenia a lot, and I'm really happy that you organized that event, so congratulations. I agree with Mr. Hofer, who said that there is 1/3 of refugees and about 2/3 who are just seeking social welfare state of our EU system or our countries. As I heard before, you met with Mr. Brglez, President of our Parliament, and as he is President of our Parliament, could you tell us maybe about what were you talking before, and how are you commenting that OVP and also the socialists in Austria are now copying your, I would say, program thoughts also about Turkey? I read about Mr. Kern's thoughts last week, and I must say that I was quite surprised, and I hope that all the socialists in Europe will wake up. But there is still one proposal regarding Turkey, as Mr. Erdogan is saying that they want money for migrants, for refugees, for some historical mistakes against them. I suggest one proposal, that we demand money for the damage they caused when they invaded Slovenia and Austria in 15th and 16th century. So that, and I also wrote one question, just let me see it. Yeah, you were talking about it before, but there are still many fears and questions in Slovenia and also in European Union that some of the European leaders would like to exclude Slovenia from Schengen, because you know our Prime Minister was on vacations last summer for a whole summer, and we overslept and didn't prepare for upcoming crisis. So you spoke about that, but are you willing to help that we remain in Schengen, to protect the Schengen border in Slovenia with Croatia? And of course, good luck on the elections. We will cheer for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, of course I want Slovenia to be part of Schengen, because on the other hand we had to kick out Italy too. It would be crazy. But we have to help all these countries on the Schengen border to be able to protect this border, because it's not that easy. There are so many people now. It's not that easy to manage. So the European Union, it has to help. And they always say we are paying a lot of money in the European Union, so we want the Union to protect our borders together with the member states. The second thing, copying our program, SPÖ and ÖVP, it's good if they are copying our program, because the people say, okay, so we can see the Freedom Party was right, so we will give them our votes. That's what we can see, because we are in the polls, we are going up and up and up and up. So it's fine. I'm happy about it. But I'm not a candidate for the elections for the parliament. I'm a candidate for the presidency, and I have to be over the parties, you know, so I'm very, but I'm happy too if they're copying it's the same. And yeah, talk with your president, speaker, the same things I said before. We've been talking about the union in the union. How can we work together? How can we have a strong voice within the European Union like the Benelux states? And I think it can be possible to manage it, to build such a system within maybe 1 or 2 years. It could be possible.
Please. No questions? I can't believe. Okay.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you related to October's elections, but it's also referring to this period, because as a future president of Austria, you will become also commander-in-chief of Austrian armed forces. Yeah. And as far as I know, there is a quite huge planning, reforms to the Ministry of Defense, to the armed forces, and so on. So there are plans that you will increase your budget for those parts of the government up to 10%. That means over €1 billion. But when you're when you're giving somebody something, you have to take it from somebody else. What do you think? What kind of reactions you have in your internal environment? Socials and education, health sectors, and so on.
We do need. I was a soldier when I was a young man. Van der Bellen wasn't, of course. If we don't spend money for our army, it will be more expensive for us because we are not able to protect our country. We have to protect our country, and we are not spending too much money now in Austria for our armies. Really, it's I think 0.5 of the growth
GDP.
Yes. It's nothing. And I would like to have 1%. 1%. Most other countries they have 2 or 3%. I would like to have 1%. It's necessary. It's really necessary. And of course we can save money in our administration. It's very expensive. Our health system is very expensive because we have a lot of hospitals in Austria, and the responsibility for the hospitals is not within it's the countries, the Burgenland, Steiermark, and so on. They have the responsibility for the hospitals. So we have within Austria, on the border between Styria and Burgenland, 2 hospitals with the same, which are doing the same things. It's very expensive. So we are losing each year 4.7 billion euro because of this wrong system. So we can save a lot of money. And we have to use this money for good purposes. Also for the army, of course, but not only for the army, of course. But we have to work on a better administration in Austria. Like I think almost every country, of course.
Please, next one.
My question would be, how is your attitude towards our minority camp?
I've been living in Burgenland. We have minorities there. We are living together very, very fine, very in friendship. We had the problems in Carinthia a couple of years ago, but it's solved, I think. I think there's now a good way of living together. And for me, the minorities in Austria are an important part of Austria. But now, if I see the demographics, the Turkish minority is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and maybe in a couple of years, they will be stronger than all the other minorities in Austria.
So you will support the Slovenian minorities?
Yes.
Thank you. This is the news.
Yeah.
Please, next. Please.
Yeah, I would like to hear a comment how we are going to stop Turkey to get into the European Union. We heard very strong statements by your foreign secretary. Also the Prime Minister, he was called, he said, the F word was used by the constitutional advisor of President Erdogan against the Prime Minister on the social networks. Regarding the comments, they were the harshest comments, I think, from Austria within the European Union towards the Turkey and handling the so-called putsch in Turkey. So what in practice, concrete, is going to happen? How can we stop this deal being implemented from the Brussels side? What are the ideas for the Austria?
I think we can maybe stop it if we are working together within the union, with this new union, because I think we have the same ideas. On the other hand, the most effective thing is to close the social system for people which come to Europe. Not in the next 10 years, or if they're living here for 10 years, but if they want to come to Europe, they have to work here. And a lot of Turkish people in Austria, they are living out from this social system. And if we close it, they won't come to Austria. That's the most efficient way, I think, for the future.
Thank you. My name is Zoran Dernovšek. I also came from the defense sector before. This is my classmate from first generation of officer school in Slovenia. I work as a military analyst, and I see some problems in your talking now, because second wave is on the way toward from Italy, from south. So don't talk. We have to wait them. They're already there on the European ground. Second, Islam is not political. It's about 85% or 90% of ideology. All the other is maybe fact. So you have to understand all that from background and understand that we don't work against some faith. This is fourth totalitarianism, so it's not fact. And this your idea, it's not new. Macedonia used it against Albania after the war. They cut down the social welfare per person to 20 euro per month. After that, about 2/3 of all Albanians split out into Europe to work. And the cities are very well looked, big jamia, but they are empty. And they have peace.
May I just say,
Yes.
sorry, if I understood well today, your exchange of thoughts with the president of the Slovenian parliament, you told us that the social welfare guarantee to the refugee, to the migrants, immediately, first day, 800 euro.
To the migrants, and the refugees, if they, this is another system.
Yeah, sure.
But if you are a migrant, if you come to Austria and you have no job, you can get 850 euro a month. That's
Nonsense.
crazy. It's
Yes.
Because, of course, the people are coming to Austria, they say, okay, here I can have my money. It won't work.
Because without that system, most of them they go home.
Yes.
Or they try to do some blowing up, hopefully in their communion.
Hopefully not at all. Yeah. But what I think is, migration is okay. It's good if the people are coming, that would like to build their own life with their own hands.
Look, but we hear media, we hear mass media about multiculti. But as you said before, we have already multiculti, different ways of different nation who lives or have customs and so on. So we have our way of multiculti before and without Islam. Why we did them?
And we have no multiculti within the Turkish community. It's monoculti, when they had the problems in Ankara, within 2 hours in the night, they had 5,000 people on the street with red flags.
Yes.
Within 2 hours, it's a brigade.
Yes, I know that.
It's dangerous.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Any other question? We are coming to the end. The last one, please.
Aleš Lampe, Vice President of the Slovenian Pan-European Movement. I have a question maybe for all of the panelists, maybe a point of thought. So we see that the multi-culti idea went wrong. Historical evidence shows that it doesn't work because usually instead of integrating the communities tend to close themselves in and just isolate themselves and sometimes radicalize themselves. So where would you see a possible solution for integration that would work? A difficult question, sorry. Food for thought.
I know that this is a good question. You will start, but before that, I would like just to introduce one point. Dr. Van Handel is not so well known to the Slovenian public, but it is very much known to the Austrian, to the German, and to the French public, because he published 10 questions to Angela Merkel that completely shaped the political environment in Germany, in Austria, and in France. Maybe starting from this, you can also present your 10 theses that shocked Angela Merkel, and then you, of course, also can answer my question.
Yes, but no, this is the internet is a quite good platform, and I was so nervous sometimes that I said, who gives you the right to destroy Europe? Who gives you the right to put Islam in the middle of Europe? Who gives you the right to make false decisions with the finances and so on? But it was, thank you very much. It was translated in all European languages, and about, I don't know, 4 or 5 million say I like it. And it's a big correspondence, but not a problem. It was a question, you said one thing before, which I liked very much. There's no political Islam, there's Islam. Didn't you say this? This is a very, very clever description. And Islam is not tolerant with the Christian churches. Speak with a very, very little Catholic or Greek church or Protestant priests there. They are suffering. They are not allowed to make new churches, they are not even allowed to make seminars or universities. They want the tolerance that they don't give to the Christian from us to be given to them. And Saudi Arabia is giving very, very many money, for instance, for mosques in northern Germany, in Netherlands, not so much, in Austria, because we could keep it a little bit under control. And to come to the question, I don't think that except a very minor group can be integrated. I don't think that the integration, which Norbert pointed it out several times today, excuse me when I say it, even in the second generation, these are these people who are going out to the places and to say Erdogan, Erdogan, Erdogan. We must try to put them, to forbid them, to make their politics in our countries. What's this good enough English? Cool people, you know, against the other one, and so on. This is the perspective. I don't think, I think that a minor group, let's say 5%, you could perhaps integrate. But in the German industry, which said before, we need them for work. Do you know how many refugees are now, after 1 year, integrated in the industry?
200 or less?
60.
Less.
60, I think.
60.
60.
60. Thank you very much.
60.
Up to
60.
1.3 million.
And the second thing is that you say these explorations where said that about 40% of the workers will not be used because of computers, automation and so on in the next years. So we have a problem with children. It's our fault that we don't have enough children. But it is not necessary to bring 1 million every year to Europe or 2 million. This is not necessary. I think to come to fact is very little chance to integrate more than 5%.
Well, about the multiculturalism, my opinion is very clear. I always stress that. I think that the multicultural dialogue is not a problem. Very much what if you know who you are. For example, I always bring on the table my personal experience. My family is 1/3 coming from Silesia, 1/3 coming from Germany, Austria. I was born in Yugoslavia. I'm a Slovenian. I travel all around the world, but I still know who I am. I can have a dialogue with somebody because I know where I'm coming from and where I'm going. And this is the problem with Europe. Europe is absolutely pushing this soft power of the multiculturalism and multicultural dialogue with everybody, but without knowing who we are, what we represent, what kind of policy we have, what kind of culture we have, what kind of foreign policy, what we are representing. Soft power. What is soft power? Sorry for telling you, but to my students in the United States of America, when I tell we are using soft power, they tell me, what is soft power? I say, bullshit, nothing. And they understood. They understand the politics. So this is the point of Europa. Europa is beautiful. I like Europe. I really love Europe. I love Slovenia, I love my country, I love our culture, I love Middle Europa. I think that we have the best culture in the world. Sorry for saying that, but I'm absolutely convinced. We have great history. We make a lot of errors, of course, and mistakes, but I still like to be European. So I know who I am. So I can have a dialogue with somebody else, and I like that. And this is the problem of Europe. Europe as a European Union cannot do that. Cannot do that. So we have to sort this. First of all, we have to stabilize, to understand who we are. Then we can have a dialogue. So this is my answer. Good luck for the future. Thank you very much, and see you the next time. Thank you. See you.